Good morning. Today, I've got one myth to dispel about real estate investing. And what that is that's the idea that real estate is always a great hedge against inflation. We've talked about this in a little bit of detail before, but I want to bring it up again because it's an important topic. And I want to go into a little bit more detail. So, I talk about investing and business with other members of my family and friends, and those who are older generally view real estate as having a solidity to it. It's a great hedge against inflation. And in the past, that actually was true. Up until the 1980s, real estate was kind of a boring investment. It didn't really go up and down as dramatically as it does today. It did generally track, if you look at the data, it generally did track the consumer price index. So the home price index or the housing price index, the HPI, followed the CPI relatively closely. And I'm going to post a comment below this video with a chart to demonstrate that. Now, this is just a data point, right? It's just a very broad picture of real estate throughout the country. Real estate's a very local market. So when you're buying, there are a lot of other variables that affect it aside from the broad macro view. But this is a very important point to bring up, and that is that today, real estate has more of a speculative nature to it. The price deviates from the CPI a lot more dramatically. And so while we're going into a period of high inflation, or it's what's anticipated as high inflation, real estate might not be a great hedge against that. Again, it depends on where you're buying. The reason this is important to bring up is because the rule of thumb amongst many realtors and investment advisors is you want to hang on to a house for 5 to 7 years if you're living somewhere at a minimum. But you want to keep this in mind too, is that prices can fluctuate and they can stay down lower than what you pay for them for an extended period of time. So if you're someone who's moving a lot, if your job has you move a lot, or if you're doing job transfers frequently, one example I have in mind is active duty military or even reservists or those associated with the military. If you're moving a lot, this could be a trap for you if you say, hey, I'm going to buy a house because I think I'm going to be here for 5 years. You end up being transferred early and you take a big loss. So I want you to keep this in mind. Real estate is not the inflation hedge it used to be. Please post a question or a comment. Send me a private message if you want to talk about it privately. It's an important topic. Again, it's a little bit of a complicated topic, but I do like to talk about this with you to answer your questions. And until next time, I wish you unlimited success.